Holy crap, I've been reading this whole thing and I've been muted this time. So we're gonna start over now. And we're gonna pretend nothing went wrong. So let's try again. It is with my kindest and dearest regards. I bid you farewell, my love. For how long, I know not. Until next we meet, my thoughts will be of you. I dare not utter your name, for it fills me with melancholy and softens my spirit. You are the wound that hobbles me, and the cane that lets me walk. With love and longing, Cletus. Sorry guys, this is a very professional endeavor here. You are Cletus, a lowly private. Thinking about what you have had to leave behind fills you with anxiety. You prefer to focus on your job, which is to obey your commanding officer, and kill as many of the boys in blue as you possibly can. Today is your first day out of basic training, and you are a line infantryman. It is late in the evening, and you've had nothing but a bowl of plain oats to eat. A battle was pitched in the field just east of your camp, but the enemy's army has not shown up. Whispers of ambush are floating around your company. Commander Wright says, "Platoons, form up and fire to receive orders 8, 11, 12, and 15. The commander blows a whistle. 12th, that's you. You form up, and Commander Wright says, "A small enemy battalion has been spotted north, coming southbound. It's an ambush, all right." And your insides knot up. 12th, make a wide circle around the back of the oncoming battalion and fire at your officer signal. 15th, wait for the first exchange, and charge on my mark. 8th and 11th, follow the cavalry in. Is that clear? Sir, yes, sir. Commander Wright says, "God be with you, boys." You drop your letter in the wooden letterbox back at camp. The courier won't get there until the morning. You crack a smile at the strangest time. You suppose it was a little Maudlin. She's so sweet on you, though, that she won't care. She'll smile too, and you can see it now. You've always been shy about looking the fool, but something about her takes away your fear. You straighten up and march. The woods are dark, but you can see the back of the orienteer's coat as you follow. The CO stops the platoon at the crest of a small bluff in the woods and looks on with his spyglass. You can just make out the tails of blue-coated soldiers vine-stepping away from you in the distance. Form up, 2 by 2, cadets, present! And your CO swings out his arm. Fire! Your platoon forms up, takes aim, and erupts in smoke and thunder. The bluecoats ahead panic and begin to scatter. The private next to you falls on his face. About face, about face. What? That wasn't part of the plan. 2 more men in your line fall. You panic. You drop to the ground instinctively, and you hear your CO shouting, "Get up! Get up!" The noise around you is a confusing slur, and you find it nearly impossible to reload on the ground. The ambush is well hidden behind a fallen maple tree. They fire once more before your platoon can finish reloading, killing many of them. The enemy officer orders a charge, and your efforts divert to not shitting your pants. Why? Why must you be such a coward? But no. Now is not the time for cowardice. Your life has just gained meaning. You've said time and again that you would die for your bonny love, and now it is time to live up to your word. So, down with the eagle. And up with the cross! You couldn't run even if you wanted to. The battle is in full swing, and the platoon that your folk tried to ambush has joined the fray. The cavalry is nowhere to be seen. You still didn't think that you would actually get this far. Oh, There's that guy. You barely noticed that you had been stabbed. You jerk forward off the blade and return the gesture to your assailant. It is getting hard to breathe, and you can no longer feel your arms, but you're not dead yet. The skirmish has gravitated into the open, so you take cover behind the fallen maple. Your shirt is so soaked that you feel like you've fallen in the river. You begin to reload your rifle, but slowly with your shaking hands. You may just be delirious, but you think you hear hooves. Suddenly, you feel like taking a quick nap. But there's no time for that. You'll miss the battle. You found a safe spot since the cavalry is coming from the south and you're north of the battle. Your rifle is loaded. And you hear God. He says, "Cletus." You say, "Huh? Who's this?" "God." "Oh, hello. How are you?" "How am I? What kind of question is that?" "Ugh, never mind. Look out into the battle, Cletus." "See that guy there with the stupid red belt and the saber?" Say, "Yeah, I sees him, Lord." God says, "Shoot him." You say, "Why would I shoot him, my lord?" Because he's he's infantry officer, you idiot." You say, but what if he's my CO? God says, "Look over there, your CO is dead." You say, "Oh, right. Well, here goes nothing." Your hands are shaking, and your vision is blurred, and you can barely steady yourself. You fire, and by some miracle, the officer topples onto his side. The enemy formation loosens momentarily as their chain of command is interrupted. Just in time for Commander Wright to arrive with the cavalry. They ram through the enemy line and scatter the bluecoats. You thank God for the freebie, and then lie back to relax. The ground is nice and cool. In fact, everything is cool. Ice cold. And you whisper, "All right, we did it, boys. We did it. Let's have some beer." Your eyes drift shut, and your mind becomes distracted by pleasant thoughts of a night beneath a young oak tree in a little town called Coxwette. Wow, you look real nice, Ramona. You don't know of anyone named Cletus. I take it Sally isn't home? And Ramona says, "She isn't. She has to work late today since they received a large shipment of new books. I'm so proud of her work ethic." A silence follows, and Ramona wrings her hands a bit. So you say, "It sounds like we have a little time to ourselves then, doesn't it?" "Mm-hmm," says Ramona. You say, "Have you dusted my bedroom yet?" He says, "I don't believe I have." Ramona says, "Did you want to make sure I do a thorough job?" You look toward the foyer, as if Sally could burst through at any moment. She doesn't, so you follow Ramona upstairs. You say, "You know, the nightstand is a little dusty. Specifically the underside. All the way down at the bottom, actually." And Ramona pauses for a moment, then smiles. Oh, of course. I'll be sure to take my time and do it right." You say, "Yeah, you better. I don't want to see a single speck of dust when you're done." "Yes, of course, sir." And she giggles. She still has a bit of a nervous quiver, but still seems to enjoy this quite a bit. You are also enjoying it. This isn't your first rodeo, and unless Sally is adopted, it's not Ramona's either. Ramona's sitting some pretty strong signals. You don't really think you need to make her clean up the whole room either, so you'll save the maid thing until she's just your landlord again. Then it's just her doing her job. So you waltz over and grab a handful of Dog Mom. Oh, be gentle, Chuck. I'm not a young woman anymore. You say, well, you still got it back here. And Ramona says, you're making me blush. You say, watch, I'll make you do a lot more than blush. The poor lady moves like a virgin. It really has been a while for her. You untie her apron and let it fall to the floor, then hike up her skirt enough to spank that flank, then make with the bumping and grinding. Ooh! Your thoughts drift back to the quiet morning, lying in bed with half your body nestled between her legs. It's different this evening, but no less warm, and very plush. You nibble on her neck, since she seemed to like that so much this morning, and it's very effective. Her body jolts with excitement, and she pushes back against you for the first time. Okay, your dick is on fire now, but you've never been one to rush things. There we go. Just gotta wake that young lady up. Everyone says, oh, I can't believe we're doing this. Do we need a, oh crap. Don't say it, lady. The eternal struggle between your brain and your dick rages. Every biological instinct you have is throbbing for you to rip off those frillies and go to town. But your responsibilities and cautions get the better of you. You're clean of disease as far as you know, and you're willing to give Ramona the benefit of the doubt. As for pregnancy, it's possible. Interspecies pairs are less fertile, but certainly can conceive. The offspring has about a 50% chance to take on one species or another. Historically, not great odds for the married ladies you've been with. You're generally prepared for this with a couple of rubbers in your wallet, but you had to abandon that when you went into hiding. It's in a sewer somewhere, miles away from your briefcase of sweet, sweet bank bucks. You say, you got any? You had this sexy maid costume. And everyone says, costume? You say, what? Don't tell me it's... She goes, yes, it belonged to my great-great-grandfather's handmaiden. The house was once very... And you say, shh. Don't spoil the moment, you naughty maid. And Ramona giggles again. Oh, whoops. You peel down her undies, hoping those aren't heirlooms too. They don't look like Victorian bloomers, so you're probably safe. You fiddle with your own jeans to give little Charlemagne some fresh air, pressing it against her backside for warmth. You are happy with your decision. Besides, isn't the shop stop closed by now? Probably. You give her another playful spank. I'll pull out. Don't worry. You're confident. Granted, you're no Jimmy the Noose, but you're pretty decent at keeping all the rats out of the cellar. Okay, be gentle. You say, oh shit, this is gonna be so sweet. You're getting the old pre-game rush, your heart pounding, and your stomach filling with static. With a little guidance from your hand, you slip your dick down between Ramona's thighs. You can't really see what's going on down there, so you just kind of push until it slides into place. It's a little dry on the outside, but Ramona slinks her hand down to spread herself open, and at that moment, everything starts to go very smoothly. Ramona blows out her mouth, shaking from shoulder to hip. You speak to her in your softest and most seductive voice. The old room echoes a little, and it helps. Relax, Ramona. Yeah, there we go. Nice and slow. Ramona says, sorry. Oh, still nervous. It's been, oh God, 20 years? Holy shit, really? This should count as community service. You lean forward and moan into her ear, real quiet like. It always drives the ladies crazy when they know you're loving it. Ramona shivers and shakes her hips right and left until you're as far in as you'll ever be. Her butt's like a big pillow. So cash. You shrug off your cardigan and drop your drawers just to get comfy. Now we're talking. Ramona is getting a little less shaky and a lot more vocal. You take that as your cue to speed up and getting clapping. Sure enough, the echo in the old house carries through the door and down the hallway. Luckily, no one else is home. Ramona's body quakes and her cunt snatches down around you. You murmur in her ear again. Someone's enjoying herself. And Ramona says, oh, I'm sorry. Am I being too loud? I didn't even... You just laugh and tell her it's okay. You like a noisy bitch. Oh shit. You might accidentally have said that to her out loud. At least it is the technically correct term. Clap, clap, clap. Oh yeah. So comfy. Getting warmer. Warmer. Mama! I'm home! A distant voice. Downstairs. You hear the front doors of the Plath house close. You grudgingly pull out of Ramona and take her by the waist and lead her into the closet. Your heart is beating like a war drum, and you are aching to nut. Ramona whispers, oh, Chuck, this is so bad. You whisper, shh, I'm gonna keep fucking you now. But you've got to be quiet. For such a large bedroom, this closet is inconveniently small for sexual purposes. You can't even fit a doggy style in. Sally passes through the hallway, yawning audibly. Mom! She walks up to the door of your room. Chuck, are you in there? She knocks on the door. Ramona goes, ooh, ooh. She begins to clench and groan. So you kiss her to shut her up. Her orgasm makes her rattle the overworked shoe shelf she is seated on in the closet. For a moment, you feel like your whole body is wrapped up in her. And blowing your load all up in that seems like the best idea you have ever had. You know what? Fuck it. You can worry about it later. Wait! Whoops, no. That was way too close. You pull out and make a few primitive bumps and grinds between her legs before making a hot mess all over her priceless heirloom uniform. Way too close. And you completed a quest. You completed the mission Moaning Mona, Sex Ramona Plath for 100 experience. You peek out of the closet. Sally didn't enter your bedroom and probably continued on to her own. You have a good stretch. You haven't felt this good in weeks. All it needs is a cigarette and some whiskey. Oh, right, there's none. Ramona shouts, hold on, be right there, I'm coming. You say, twice in a row? Slow down, Mama. Ramona giggles and swats your arm. Oh, hush. You're terrible. Ramona puts on the remainder of her maid outfit before realizing that she can't very well wear it out of the room. And she's, I didn't think about this. You search the closet for something that will fit Ramona's Rubenesque figure. The clothes range from mid-century to older. And at this point, there is a paper doll. These are things on TG-chan where people will post them and then suggest things to put in them. This one's short, though, so... You find Ramona a decent dress from this century. It's pretty subdued, and looks rather like something she would wear anyway. And Ramona says, "Do I look okay?" You say, "Better than okay. Maybe not for long, though." Your hand seems to send a shock through her body. She stiffens and gasps. "Oh, where does all your energy come from? I feel like a teenager again." She pauses a bit. You must be popular with the younger women." You say, well, the ladies I've been with have never complained." And one says, "Ladies? Oh, I see." And Ramona looks away. I wish I could share a bed with you tonight. I must sound like a desperate old fool. I have to go." She leaves the room, calling for Sally as she reaches the end of the hall. And hey, you figure it's not your fault if the old lady thought you were gonna marry her or some shit. You know she's not that stupid, and you're sure she'll get over it. You're just glad you got to hit it. You take a nice, long shower, and then you head to bed. Ramona leaves you breakfast on your bedside table again the next morning, but doesn't wake you up for it. You head to work the next morning. Marcy says, "Good morning, Chuck." Wait, that's nothing. "I hope my favoritist and onlyest employee is feeling super as I am today." You don't think you've ever felt as super as Marcy feels on any day of your life. "I'm doing great, Marcy. Right on time today." Marcy says, "Yep, and it's Friday. Get to it." And you think about whether or not Marcy might be putting on a fake smile, but you're pretty sure it's real. You know because you just know. Marcy's a happy person. It sort of ticks you off a bit. Just like yesterday, you start off with the cafe. And he goes, "Oh yeah, look at those hot buns. You know what happens when the buns are hot? People buy more. You done good, hun." You aren't really sure if she's talking about the pastries. Just, "Psst, Chuck. Chuck." Except that's actually not her. Someone's calling you from behind one of the booths. You wonder who it could be. You peek over the back of the booth. "Hello, Chuck." "Hey, Naz." "Shh. Keep your voice down." You say, "Shouldn't you be at work?" And Naz says, "I'm on my way home from installing the computer at the schoolhouse. Say, do you have a quick minute or two to help me with something?" You ask, "Is it a prank?" She says, "It's not a prank." You didn't have to choose whether or not to help Naz with her prank. Obviously, you choose yes. "Alright, spill it." Naz says, "Excellent. I'm going to distract Penny." You say, "Okay." She says, "And I want you to take this water-based white paint to the cafe sign outside. Paint the sign." You look around to make sure that no one is looking. And you paint over the sign's lettering so as to read, "Fart in ass." Naz said that the paint is water-based. So hopefully it's some kid's paint that she lifted from the schoolhouse or something. You head back inside to find Naz. You say, "The deed is done." Hey, can you bring these croissants on your library to the library on your way there? Naz says, "Sure, man." And Naz departs with the croissants, saving you a stop along your route. And you gain 20 experience for completing the Prank You Come Again mission. Then you head off to City Hall. The mayor is locked in her office, as usual. And you are greeted by Lisa Goodfaith. You say, "Whoa, you look different." "Casual Friday, sir." You say, "Lisa, right?" She says, "Yes, sir." You hand her a bag of bagels. "You look really nice today. I like your hair down like that." And Lisa says, "Oh, well, gosh, thank you, sir. You're the first one to notice. I have to get back to work now." She scurries off to the copy room, and you scurry off to your lady's fixed-gear pannier bicycle. You ride up to the schoolhouse. It is looking tranquil today. You walk inside, carrying the pastries up the stairs. You see Angela, "I closed it, and it just kept opening. It just kept fucking opening. Piece of shit. Well, I closed it. I closed it real good. The teacher said I swear." The children burst into giggles and gasps, and says, "Don't you lecture me, you paste-eating little bastard. That's right, I know. And the same goes for the rest of you foul-smelling little..." And she stops and regains her composure. "Nope. Nope. Okay, class. What do we do when we lose our temper?" The class all says in unison, "Take a deep breath." Angela nervously straps on her guitar. "And we always remember those no-no words that you never say unless you're a bird. Except for Sam." You feel like you should have videotaped all of that for Naz. What a waste. You hand Miss Angela her pastry, which is a Danish today. "Oh gosh, thanks, Chuck. I'm sorry, I kind of freaked out there. I've been stressed." You say, "Don't sweat it. I know I'd lose my mind with all these kids." And Angela says, "Well, it's not just that, it's... Never mind. Can you tell Naz I'm sorry about her computer? Really sorry." You laugh. "Oh, believe me, I will." You go to the shop stop next. Ellen is there, as always. "Okay, I mean, what can I help you with, I guess?" You pass her your breads, which are still a bit warm. You also try to remember if there was anything you needed to buy from the store. You say, "Hey, you got any condoms?" Ellen just looks at you for a moment. "Yeah, we have those." She goes to a glass cabinet behind the counter and blows the dust off of a 6-pack of condoms. You say, "Oh, great, I'll take a pack." Ellen says, "Okay, $6. Ellen rings it up, quietly looking at the box for a minute. What do you need these for? You say, what? Just nothing, I guess. Never mind. Thanks for the bread delivery. You have 63 bucks. You gained 6 condoms. You hope that they're not too old. You say, hey Ellen, what would I call you if your eyes got poked out? Ellen says, what? And you shrug and say, no idea. Ellen sighs and gives another pained smile. You read the back label of the condoms. They seem fine, if surprisingly tasteless. You look back up at Ellen. Well, you don't expect me to be celibate, do you? Everyone should have some of these lying around, don't you think? And Ellen says, I guess you're right. You say, anyway, thanks. I gotta run. Keep smiling, cutie. You pedal over to the post office next. Hey, Rita. And he says, oh, hey, Chuck. Pastries coming in? You say, yeah, you want to stamp these? Rita giggles. You hadn't actually heard that yet. It's just what I need, actually. While I was busy processing, well, something terrible happened. You say, what happened? She says, I'm sorry if this comes as a great shock to you, Chuck, but I just came back from the mailroom to find this hanging up on the wall. You say, what could that possibly be that bad? She says, someone was able to gain access to the copy machine. I'll have to have a stern word with the responsible party. If the mayor saw this, you say, heinous! Whoever made that make any other copies? Like, are there any other ones lying around that I could have? You know, try to identify who did it. And you stop to think. Were the copier settings messed with it all? She says, yeah, it looks like whoever it was knew what they were doing. Makes it kind of hard to tell the scale. It seems Rita has given it a great deal of thought also. You recall all of the women that you have mentally undressed in the past week. You think about doing a butt lineup of all the ladies in town. If only you could. You have a hunch, but you realize that you're getting distracted from work. Whoever's ass that is, the idea that it's an ass in this very town is turning you on for some reason. So you get the quest, getting to the bottom of this. Find the post office booty bandit. And you head off to your final stop, the police station. And a cop lady says, hey, yo, new guy, you got the goods. You say, you know it. Yeah, real good. Thanks, buddy. Say hi to Marcy for me. You say, will do, Officer Layla Hood. She says, noticed anything funny around town, new guy? You say, like, haha funny? Weird funny? Or, you trying to be funny, pal? Funny. You trying to be funny, pal? Oh, in that case, no. And she squints. You're alright. Okay, well, unless you want to stay and talk to this cop, you're done with your deliveries. You smile at the officer, and she nods. You go back to the bakery to collect your pay and drop off your lady's fixed-gear pannier bicycle. And Marcy says, oh, you're back. You're getting better at this. I just love showing new guys the ropes. You receive your wage. You now have 93 bucks. You say, thanks, Marcy. See you tomorrow morning? She says, nope. Oops, forgot to switch the picture. You close on Saturdays? She says, no, but I won't need you. The town folks like to come in for the fresh stuff on the weekends since they don't need it delivered to work. You say, oh, okay then. She says, but I'll be off in time for dinner. Stop by and knock me up. 5 p.m. sharp. You say, I don't think you know what that... You gotta close. Have a good night, Chuck. She all but pushes you out the door before beginning the arduous process of cleaning the bakery. The shop stop is still open, or you could visit the library before heading back home, as it were. The library's pretty quiet this Friday afternoon. Sally is out front hauling some books. She doesn't look very cheery. Oh, hi, Chuck. You say, well, hello, Sally. Aren't you going to lighten up a little? It's Friday after all. She says, I would. It's just... Well, I found my mom awake crying last night. Did she say anything to you? There is no way that you are telling Sally that you banged her mom. That would be an absolutely insane idea. So you say, oh no, that's awful. And she seemed just fine. She's such a sweetheart, you know? Sally says, she is. I hate to see her so sad. I just wish I knew why. You say, how about I get her something nice? Sally says, you do that for her? You say, in a heartbeat, kiddo. Any ideas on what she might like? Clothes or jewelry? She says, well, here is one thing I know she'd love to have. You say, name it. She's always wanted to find a copy of The Lineage of Nelson Plath. I've scoured the entire library down to the last leaflet, and I can't find it. I think it's in the catacombs underneath, but no one knows how to get in there. You find yourself momentarily fixated between Sally's perky sweater pups and wondering how she got her head through the neck hole of that sweater. You say, huh? Oh, right. Catacombs. Yeah, I'll try to figure out a way in. So he says, wow, you really do it? You're like Indiana Jones or something. And you say, for you I could be. Just give me a whip. Sally covers her mouth to hide a giggle, then pretends to cough. You think about asking the hyena, and that's actually a pretty good idea. You'll have to catch up with Rachel at some point to see what she knows. But regrettably, you left your French phrase book at the Plath house. You think about asking the cops for permission to get into the catacombs, but that's never been your style, really. Sally asked you to do it, and she seems like a pretty upstanding figure in town, so it's probably fine. Sally says, several of the town's historical tomes make clear reference to catacombs beneath the library, but none of them describe how to enter. One of them said it was a place reserved for the town's leadership exclusively. It's said that Nelson Plath himself is buried there. I wish I could give you more information. You briefly consider ghosts, but most ghosts would probably already be hanging out in the catacombs. You cannot even begin to think about how to contact the ghost anyway. There are probably simpler solutions to this than contacting the roof ghost at the mansion. You could begin searching for the catacombs immediately, or go about other business. You say, oh, hey, I got another idea. Do you think that Ramona would be interested in some cooking lessons? I know she loves to cook. And so I said, Chuck, you didn't say anything to her about her cooking, did you? Say, no, I just thought, like a little Please don't say anything about it. Her husband, she doesn't tell me much about him, but he was rather unkind about her cooking. It makes her really upset to even think about it. Noted. So, what do you think of your mom's cooking? So he says, I love my mama more than anything and anyone. You know that, Chuck. And, well, she's good at a great many things, just not... You show your understanding with a slow nod. So he says, Thanks for being so kind to her on account of her cooking, Chuck. You're a really good guy. So you decide you need to cultivate your bad way of speaking. You say, good, huh? Glad I fooled somebody, at least. Sally makes a nervous laugh. What's that supposed to mean? So, just get to know me. You'll see. Like how? You say, why don't you come to the catacombs with me? You always look so bored up here. It'd be more fun than photocopying your butt, wouldn't it? What was that last part? Never mind. That does sound pretty exciting. But you gotta find a way in first. I really should get back to work, though. Sally says, I'll see you at home, Chuck. You say, well, with the mysterious catacombs still on your mind, you go to the computer lab to ask Naz about the post office incident. There's a monitor light under the door. Knock, yes or no? Obviously you choose no. You say, Naz, you are not going to believe what happened at the school. Crack! After a loud, jarring pop, you are splattered with some viscous substance. A system of pulleys and strings falls to the floor at your feet. A mouse is there. Naz says, oh, what's up? I see you chose not to knock. You say, Jesus Christ! What the fuck was that? Naz says, what was it? To be honest, it was a party popper full of chocolate pudding. You taste the pudding. It's delicious. I mean, why'd you do it? What if it had been Sally? And Naz said, Sally knocks. Anyway, I thought it'd be funny, and maybe get you out of that cardigan for once. Do you even wash that thing? Ramona had it folded and washed for you this morning, but you don't really feel like telling Naz that. You say, alright, maybe it was kind of funny. Do you have any more of this pudding? Naz says, yeah, it's from Marcy's bakery. You get some of the pudding, and then regale Naz with what you had witnessed at the schoolhouse. Naz says, no way! Out the window? The second story window. That's hilarious! I'd give anything to have seen that. You say, aren't you worried about replacing that computer? You mean the one out of literally dozens we have here that no one ever uses? I said, I'd call it a fair trade-off. So, I noticed you're wearing pants today. And I said, I figured you did. It's way easier than you think to tell when you're staring at my ass. Like literally right now. You say, well, it's a cute ass. And I says, whoa. You shrug, taking off your cardigan. For now. Plus, I'm trying to figure out who hung up a certain picture at the post office. And I says, and what makes you think I would do something like that? I say, well, aside from you being the resident prankster, it was pretty obvious that the perpetrator wasn't wearing a skirt. Plus, I could see your tail, along with the kind of panties you usually wear. Naz crosses her arms. How do you know what kind of panties I wear? Say, oh, I got a good look when I was carrying you out of the Plath house. You were wearing a really short skirt. Naz says, oh, fine. It was me. And you complete the mission getting to the bottom of this. Find the post office booty bandit. It's obviously Naz. It's only worth 10 experience. Also, I have to point this out. Like, if you notice, obviously is spelled incorrectly. That's really embarrassing. That's got to be very embarrassing for RML. Probably the worst part of this entire chapter. I can't think of anything else in here that would be that embarrassing. Naz says, what are you writing? You say, nothing. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. It was a good prank. Someone's got to stir up this burning town. Someone's got to stir up this boring-ass town. Naz says, I'm glad someone else gets it. You say, absolutely nothing. Hey, do you know anything about how to get into the catacombs under the library? And Naz says, nope. If I did, I'd be down there right now. Okay, so, you like to get down, do you? Naz says, yeah. You pick a bit more pudding out of your cardigan and eating it. A thought comes to mind. Does the mayor even visit the library? She must know how to get down there. Naz says, sometimes she comes by to check that the internet box are working, or to ask Sally to watch out for any obscene books to pull off the shelves. I don't know if she knows how to get down to the catacombs. There's a door in the basement that looks like it led down there at some point, but it's filled in with bricks and a couple feet of concrete. You ask, is there any kind of map? A secret passage in one of the shelves? And Naz says, Sally and Selma have cataloged every single book in the library. If there was a secret shelf, they would have found it. No maps have turned up yet that I know of. You say, how do you know there's several feet of concrete if you haven't been to the other side? Cass says, I don't actually know for sure. There's rebar sticking out of the concrete, so it would take a sledgehammer and a couple hours to get through it at least. You say, you look nice with your glasses off, you know. Naz says, thanks. You look nice with my glasses off, too. You're not keen on asking permission before doing something potentially illegal. You're pretty sure you went over that already. Naz doesn't seem to know as much about the full contents of the library as Sally and Selma do, so she might not be much help for finding anything resembling blueprints or a map. You say, while I'm here, let's see that blog of yours. And Naz says, okay. She sits down at a computer, and the dial-up modem next to it begins to screech. A page of text streams down the screen. It says, Natzold, send me your dirtiest thoughts via the wonder of magnificent electronic mail at natzold.com. The newest article is The Joy of Collars, with the archived articles, the archivicals of Where People Can See by Naz and Dressing as Someone Else. It has the blurb of today, tell me what gets you strangely excited, and includes Selma's fan fiction, The Muffin Man, which is only a single page, and is her other titled, Artist Wanted. Naz opens the Joy of Collars article. This is some truly weird shit. Says, collars get me strangely excited. They don't prevent you from losing your arms and your legs, and they don't keep you from speaking. All they do is keep you within a given distance of whomever holds the leash. It is a kind of constrained freedom that mimics independence just enough to discourage resistance, but at the same time lets the blissfully ensnared gaze upon the world's distant and unreachable wonders. Are we ensnared? Do the quaint and familiar comforts of home lull us into willfully staying put? Do the grand and tantalizing visions in books and magazines sedate us as we watch those who choose to pull at their leash get choked? Maybe we do not live in paradise. Maybe this charming place is merely a snare in the road of our lives, and we are happily donning our collars and handing the leash to the masters of great design. If you cannot take off your collar, that's okay. Just don't let your present walk be boring. This is Naz, signing off. Collars can be hot. Send your hottest stories to in@zold.com. I just realized that that's her email address. Okay. That's not... Alright, I got it. I just got that. Also, as a note, this is apparently only, like, the last page of the article, since if you look at the previous thing, this article is 5 pages. So either there's a lot of page breaks in there, or, you know, whatever. You say, I had no idea, Naz. Are you hiding a collar under all those turtlenecks? Naz says, no. The collar goes on the outside. You say, what are those other articles? Just miscellaneous things. User-generated content is all the rage. Naz opens up another article. This article is titled, Where People Can See. Even when I take every precaution against my troublemaking getting the attention of the town authorities, I'm obsessed with the idea of getting caught. Most people would call it hubris, but I call it the spice of life. The tragedy of the exceptional prankster is that if she is good enough, she will never get caught. She will never get to take credit for her biggest score. A graffiti artist who sprays a masterpiece under an overpass won't get the recognition, but she still stands out in the cold to leave her mark. The notion of getting caught is romantic to me. It is then that I will get the punishment and the recognition that I deserve. The same goes for sex, doesn't it? When it's always done in private, you don't get to take the credit for your sweet, sweet O's. Maybe if we did it where people can see, they wouldn't all be so repressed. Are you trapped in a place where you can't be the person you want to be? Send me an email at n@zold.com. I want to talk to you. This is Naz, signing off. Say, so, has anyone emailed you back? Naz's bottom lip twitches. No, not yet. Say, huh. How does anyone get along in this town with pretty much no men? Is everyone a lesbian or something? Naz says, for me, loads and loads of porn. I'm the only one in town who has access to it, though. I control the content blocks. Say, so, what would you say to making a little porn of our own? And Naz stands quietly for a moment. Seriously? You nod, and she waits another beat. Shit. Okay. Your dick will be very sad if this is a prank, but it is worth the risk. You don't know whether to talk about it or just keep reading the weird website articles. Say, wait, is this going to be another prank? No. I don't believe you. And I says, what makes you think this is going to be a prank? You say, the fact that everything else you've done to me was, and that you spent all day pranking the shit out of town? To your surprise, Naz looks slightly hurt. Naz says, wow, I kind of like you, Chuck. And if you don't believe me, well, I guess that's my own fault. Say, well, shit. Sorry, Naz. I trust you. Even if it was a prank, no one gets hurt. Yeah, that includes feelings. It's alright, man. Say, so, how are we doing this? Who's gonna direct it? Naz says, Selma. Say, Naz says, trust me. She sits back down at the computer screen and pulls up The Muffin Man. It is a short story that begins, do you know the Muffin Man? And devolves into a peculiar story of a pastry-themed superhero who rides a flying bicycle. It then devolves further into extremely graphic sex between him and his bespectacled dietitian girlfriend, who turns out to be the supervillain, but neither of them knows the other's secret identity. You say, yeah, alright, Selma can direct it. That story seems a little topical, though. Oddly specific, almost. Naz says, I don't pretend to understand Selma. That's why we're best friends. You say, well, I think we've got everything we need to get it rolling. You say, not quite. If we're gonna do this right, we'll need costumes. I'll pitch in for half of those, of course. And you get the new mission, Naz and Charlie make a porno. Get costumes for the shoot. And you say, so are we just acting out Selma's story, or... Naz says, no. Selma likes to watch. Someone says, hi. Wow, that was a fucked up voice. You go, whoa, holy shit, woman. Naz says, she can handle the camera work well, too. She's production, I'm post. It's perfect. You can't really see any flaws in the logic. You are unsure if the tailor is open at the moment. You've been in the library for about 45 minutes, and it's 4 p.m. You don't consider yourself much of a costume designer, but you think that you could come up with some basic concepts to pitch to the tailor, whether or not you decide to go there this evening. Naz says, I am excited. She does not sound excited, but she probably is. Naz says, not surprisingly, spending all day pranking left me a little time for my work. I should get back to that. And then there's another paper doll. Like I said, these are the things that are done on TG Channing quests for really things like this. It's like, hey, design an outfit for a character or whatever. They're usually pretty fun. I'm not showing all of them here because that would take a million years. So we're just going to show you the one that is Chuck. Hello, Chuck. You scribbled down a few ideas for costumes, chuckling to yourself. You'll need to decide an idea officially, though. Which costumes do you want to get made? Remember, Naz is going in half on the cost. Secondly, you'll either need to go with Selma's idea or pitch a new one entirely to the girls. You decide on the lab coat and diner hat idea, keeping in mind some of the more avant-garde stylistic choices for later. If you want to see those avant-garde stylistic choices, read the quest on tgchan.com, where they are all in the threads. Naz says, good. We need some help to... Oh, wait, no, sorry, I missed one. Naz says, creative, but unexpected. That is good. Someone says, I can't believe you guys are gonna have sex. That's crazy. Crazy to think about. I'll think about it later. Fuck, I am... Is it .org? Shit, it is .org. I'm the worst. It's tgchan.org, not tgchan.com. I can't do someone's voice all of a sudden. That is good. We need some help developing concepts. Seth says, yes, of course. The concept. It's just done. I can't do it today for some reason. You'll leave the two of them to their work for the evening. Where will you go next? Naz scrawls her measurements onto a scrap of printer paper and hands it to you on your way out of the lab. It isn't quite dark yet, but the evening is approaching. As you recall, the tailor is open until 5 p.m. It is around 5:15. I missed some switches. You break into a brisk run for the shop stop, your pudding-spattered cardigan in tow. At times like this, you wish that you had your lady's fixed-gear pannier bicycle. You arrive just as the tailor is locking the door to her workshop. You say, oh, are you closing up? The tailor says, no, I simply locked the door to keep the clothes from leaving. You say, The tailor says, a joke, but I've been never good at them. My name you probably could pronounce, not, but you may call me Sophie. What can I do for you? You say, a pleasure, ma'am. I'm Chuck. I'm looking to have some costumes made. She says, costumes? Yes'm. It is a bit far from Halloween. You say, they're for a costume party. You say, oh, you peculiar man. People from out of town. They always are. What's that? A design? She lifts a pale white hand from beneath her poncho and takes your sketch, along with Naz's measurements. Sophie says, simple, but strange. So very strange, as well, that your cardigan is covered in pudding. I will take this commission for $90, but I must ask for half now. Yeah. Say, oh, yeah, I got pranked a little while ago. The mouse, yes? You say, yeah, and Sophie stares for a moment. Soak in baking soda solution. Wash hot, air dry. You'll have to get Ramona to do that. You hand Sophie the $45, leaving you with $48 left. Sophie says, thank you. I can have them finished in 3 business days. Pick up in store on Wednesday with remaining balance. Will do, ma'am. Make sure the faces of the wearers are covered. Sophie says, okay. Say, so tell me a little bit about yourself, Sophie. Sophie says, I work with Ellen in the shop. I am nothing else if not tired. Good night, Chuck. You bid farewell to the tailor, and she walks home. Overall, you're in a decent mood. It's Friday night, and you're gonna fuck that mouse. You consider going to the farm, but it's the evening, and you remember the things that Ellen said about that guy being weird as shit. You can still head up there this evening, but you might want to wait until another day for an earlier time. You return to the Plath house for the night. It's still old and really creepy, like a great hunched figure on the hill. Ramona is walking through the living room. Oh, good evening. You think about having some honest, respectful talk with Ramona, but that's generally what you try to avoid with women. Now, you're thinking you actively want to pursue it, but it's worth a try. And you say, are you alright? Ramona turns, yes, dear, I'm fine. Say, come on, babe, there's no need to be so cold. You brush up against her, but she keeps walking. My name is Ramona. You say, oh, you're still upset about earlier? She goes, no, I know it's my fault. I was naive to think a young, handsome man would have anything to do with an old cow like me. I'm too old to be that naive. Say, oh, so I'm a little bit wild for your taste. That's not your fault. In fact, you're missing the point, and the point is you've still got it. You're a beautiful sweetheart, Ramona. Don't ever forget. Ramona says, you'll find your bill on your bed. Good night, Chuck. You say you're a catch, Ramona. Just remember that. Ramona looks back at you briefly, but then walks away down the hall. You call after her one last time, good night, and the old house creaks. You head upstairs and search for an attic pull string. To your surprise, the old mansion just has a little miniature door on the top floor. It's unlocked, but caked with dust and slightly warped. With some effort, you manage to open it. It leads to a cramped, spider-infested staircase. You climb up, poking your head into a dim room. The attic. Before you are the still, fuzzy silhouettes of 200 years worth of crap. What will you look for? It's a bit difficult to see much, but you didn't have the foresight to grab a light before coming up here. There's enough light showing through from downstairs to faintly make out what you're looking at, though. Mirrors? How could anyone get spooked by those? There are crates and boxes all around, made of everything from solid pine wood to cardboard. Some of them look more modern than others. You walk forward into the dim, brushing aside cobwebs in search of documents. It turns out there are boxes and boxes and stacks of boxes filled with documents. Too much for you to go through in any reasonable amount of time. There are some things strewn onto the floor, though. Wait, did I not save a picture? I didn't save a picture. Oh, there it is. I just skipped over it because I'm smart. For example, some very old letters and a very old photograph. The letter is scrawled and faded, but you can manage to make out most of the words. Dearest Anna, it was my grandfather who first discovered the essence with happiness, and it is with so many thanks to you our little patch of earth shall flourish in his memory. Love and fellowship shall overrule the world's laws of chaos and hatred and belligerence. And nary a disparaging thought will stir us from our resting bliss. It is said that we live and live beyond the finality of death. We live until our names are spoken for the last time, and live yet until the very last thought fades from the dying memory of our progeny. Stand with me, dear. Stand with me while we still have our legs, and so that we might be immortalized in a photograph. My darling Pearl, there is no greater gift you could have given me. We will never die. Truly, Charles Plath. You take the photo over to the spooky mirror behind you in the attic. Since it is dark and inherently spooky, it makes you look much scarier than you actually are. Still, it has some light reflecting in from the downstairs, allowing you to look at the photo more clearly. This is the photo. You realize that the snake in this photo looks a lot like the mare, and therefore you consider that she must be a vampire. And that is a bizarre runaway thought. It's completely ridiculous, of course, but you cannot help but wonder how you might bring it up to her in a conversation. God, it's so creepy how she looks right at the camera. Didn't you have to stand there for like 15 minutes for those old-ass cameras? You hear the front door close downstairs. Sally's home. Since her room is on this floor, and you don't want to be caught snooping in the creaky attic, you'd probably have time to search one more thing between the photo box, the letterbox, and the chest. And the chest is locked. However, unlike the wall safe in your room, this isn't any kind of strange lock. With a couple of bobby pins, you could probably pick this lock and nearly any lock in under a minute. You get the chest day mission to open the chest in the Plath house's attic. You don't have any bobby pins on you right now, though. You had to ditch everything potentially incriminating. You can't imagine it would be hard to lift a couple in a house inhabited by two short-haired... God damn it. Clothes hangers are too thick to pick anything. You could probably choose the same thing with some paper clips, but bobby pins are ideal. You swear, those things were made to pick locks. Sometimes you use a bobby pin tension wrench for boosting houses anyway, because Sally says, I'm gonna boil some water for tea and get in the shower. You want some tea, Mama? Mama? And Sally says, Mama, have you been up in the attic? In the attic? The door looks different. You answer Sally. It's me up here. Sally says, Chuck! You're really starting to get hooked on the ways he says your name with her southern twang. What are you doing up here? Well, what are you doing up here? You say, see, I thought I'd look for a few clues on how to get down into those catacombs. And Sally says, well, gosh, I wish you would have asked. I thought there was a burglar in the house. You say, what? A burglar? I said, maybe I can help. Checkmate. You say, I'll be sure to ask next time. Do you have any idea what all is up here? So I says, I don't know, truly. I used to poke my head in here when I was a kid, but was always too scared to come in. You say, well, with all that talk of a ghost, so I says, I don't believe in ghosts, no. I always loved ghost stories, but I always knew they were just stories. You say, I want to get into that chest there, but I can't get it open. Any loose keys around the house? So I says, oh, sure. Hundreds of them. You say, any of them shaped like a weird 7-pointed star? You recall the bizarre lock on the wall safe in your bedroom. So he says, no. No, sorry. Nothing like that I've ever seen. You open up the photo box and pick out a much more recent Polaroid snapshot. Damn, who's that in that hottie in the... Holy shit, that's Ramona. You pocket the Daisy Dukes photo for later tonight. You help Sally go through some more of the old photos. There are few of as much note as that first one. Mostly just a lot of weird family moments never truly meant to be caught on film. Probably not helpful for your search. Say, who's this guy? Say says, oh, that's Papa. I never met him, and Mama sure hates talking about him. You say, huh? Why? And she said, he hit her a lot. Your blood runs cold as the mood dies painfully. You could really use something to lighten it up before this uncomfortable silence goes on too long. Subject change, distraction. You'll settle for anything. So, yep, that picture of the snake lady there, huh? Pretty crazy resemblance to the mayor, right? I was thinking, wouldn't it be hilarious if she was some kind of vampire or something? You know, immortal and all that shit? She says, first ghosts, now you're scared of vampires? I never said I was scared. Besides, look, she's got the fangs and everything. Sally says, she's a snake, Chuck. She doesn't seem to believe you, and turns back around to sift through the photos. It is dark, which makes it easier to picture her wearing those Daisy Dukes. Your mind just does that passively all the time anyway. But now you have an excuse. There are thousands of photos stuffed into these old boxes. It would take a part-time job to get through them all. Excuse me. What will you do now? So you just talk to Sally more. You say, I don't know, don't snakes usually have those fangs that fold back? As a note, Susanna is a ball python. Ball pythons have only a glyphus teeth, so they wouldn't have those fangs that fold back. However, they also do not have the kind of fangs that Susanna has. That is a critical error in this quest if it does not turn out that Susanna is a vampire. I would be very cross with the writer if it turns out that they gave these sort of fangs that only elapids have to a ball python, which is a member of a completely different family. That would be very disappointing. Anyway, do you ever actually see her out in the sun? So he says, now where did you go? Say, maybe she's got all the guys in town locked up in the basement to satisfy her lust. For blood! So I goes, she starts to laugh, nudging forward. Chuck, I'm ticklish! You have rarely had this much fun rolling the dice on sexual harassment charges. You say, oh, that sounds like the universal password for tickle me even more. Sally swats at your hands, snorting a little bit while she laughs. You are very good. You try to be quiet. You are very good at moving around on creaky floors and generally being unseen and unheard in houses. Sally, on the other hand, falls backwards on a box of letters with a crackling thud. You quietly fall after her, because of course you are charmingly clumsy when it's convenient. Whoops. Sally says, I'm sorry, I can hardly see a thing so far from the stairs. You keep quiet to let the moment sink in. Sally's chest is rising and falling, even as the shock of the fall wanes. Sally says, to be perfectly honest, I'm feeling a bit funny. You say, how so? She goes, it's my heart. It just won't quit pounding. Sorry, I ain't used to, tickling and things. Between work and chores, there's just never time. You say, that's what Friday night's for, isn't it? Sally's eyes slide off to her side. Says, weren't you up here looking for something? You say, I was. But I found something better. Sally is breathing faster now. You can feel her breath on your neck. You lean in a little closer. Oh, she's all doe-eyed. You are one seductive bastard. Sally looks like she wants to say something, but the cat's got her tongue. Or at least, will soon. You realize you're also pretty tired after a day of work and miscellaneous tomfoolery. But you decide you decide to play it cool. With your graveliest bedroom voice, you whisper to her, "It's getting a little late. Maybe you should run off to bed." Sally says, "Gosh, do I have to?" You look behind you. There's some light coming from the stairs again. You say, "Yeah, go on." You help her onto her feet, and then smooch her on the cheek. Sally beams. "I'm gonna take a shower. I gotta get ready for work." You say, "Work tomorrow?" She says, "The library never sleeps, Chuck." You could probably use a shower before bed, too. You smell like sweat, pastries, dust, pudding, paint, and bird anger, the most noticeable of all smells. You say, "Well, hey, something to think about. You're taking a shower. I'm taking a shower. We could save a little bit of water, couldn't we?" Sally's eyebrows go all the way up over the top of her head, like they do when she is really surprised. You don't mean... Just a thought. You're playing with fire with Ramona in the house, but your brain has shifted entirely to dick mode. How about this? If you want to, tie your belt around the bathroom doorknob. If not, that's okay. It's all up to you, Sally Plath. Sally gives a sharp nod and scurries down the narrow steps back to the hallway below. Oh yeah, you're killing the game, Chuck. These Plath girls are easier than a placemat word search. About to get some of that sweet naked bump and grind. Double up, Grab that skinny bitch and rail, brother. Oh yeah. You continue your mental rhapsody for a few minutes to give Sally enough time to get ready. The room cools down as if a window had been opened to a snowstorm. "Oh," you hear a voice, almost musical and vaguely mechanical in its quality. "Oh, those ears, Cletus. Oh, the Lord is listening." You focus all your concentration on breathing. In, out, in, out. "They said I just had a woman's hysteria, but I knew you would come back, safe and sound." Her voice is not natural. It's pitch perfect, but off-key. Tinny like an instrument, and breathy like someone half asleep. "I've been having these awful dizzy nightmares, sweet pea. Like I'm falling. Cletus, I missed you. Talk to me." You say, "Lorraine? Why haven't you moved on?" Your mouth has become very dry, and you struggle to croak out the words. You're not used to being nervous, And Lorraine gasps. You, you didn't think I would remarry, did you? Your letter came like a lantern in the dark, and it was so dark. You say, what happened to the letter? The letter. Lorraine darkens, and the room turns cold enough for you to see your own breath. I was having a touch of hysterics. I took it to the roof on account of the house being so crowded. Maybe it's still up there? I couldn't get your voice out of my head. I read it over and over, knowing you'd come home soon. Oh, Cletus, I sure would love to hear you read it to me. You say, I'll find that letter, darling. Do you remember where you left it? Lorraine says, I'm so forgetful sometimes. I don't remember, dear. You say, I'll get to looking. Don't you worry. You assume the letter fell with her, so it was likely recovered from her body. If it isn't somewhere up here, then it's probably somewhere in the Plath house. You'll have to do some poking around, but another time. And Lorraine says, you come on back, you rascal. You? I do miss your hand and mine. Her voice makes you deeply uncomfortable and gives you a shiver from your ass to your shoulders. You consider offering your hand to the ghost, but you're overcome by a sudden fear. You bid Lorraine farewell and leave the attic for now. Her pupilless eyes gape at you momentarily, and she flickers out into nothingness like a burnt-out light bulb. That was strange and unsettling. You take off down the halls for Sally's restroom. Where were you before that ghost interrupted you? Oh, right. I shimmy up and tease her with a little smooch, for you know it, I'm macking on the girl pooch, smashing that nerd cooch. Oh, Charlemagne, the legend pledging, I will never sugarcoat this girl till you got a sugarcoat, and it's dripping off both tits. Spin around, slide it up in her hot mom. She jumping on my dick like it's the last chopper flying out of Vietnam. Oh, oh, oh. Anyway, as Ramona said, you find the bill on your bed. That also rhymes. We still rapping. You'll have to pay that in the morning. You decide you'll shower when it's free, but the house actually has like 10 bathrooms. You're able to shower on your own terms, so you do before you go to bed. You slip underneath the covers with that photo you found. More dough than a bakery. You waste no time. The fact that you were inside this woman recently makes it a fast and easy job. No tissues. Where are they? Doesn't matter. Too tired. You stash the photo away between the bed frame and the mattress, wedged securely where only someone disassembling the bed would find it. This isn't your first porn-hiding rodeo. You lie down on the pillow and drift into an exceedingly restful, no-obligations Friday night sleep. You are definitely probably not in a dream sequence. The door is moving and a strange light has spilled into the room. Again, someone is there. It's Ramona. She approaches the foot of the bed, but says nothing. She is breathing heavily. You're nearly asleep anyway, so there's not much need to pretend to be sleeping. What was that you got? Ramona set something solid down on the floor, but you can't tell what it was. You feel her weight depressing the mattress near the end of the bed. Ramona. She scoots closer. You decide to just do nothing. Ramona is shy, but she has done this before. You can definitely tell that much. It's the middle of the night, and you're not completely awake yet. This is a bit overstimulating. Just coming in my pants. She doesn't seem to want to respond. Damn. Maybe it's not foreplay. It's completely quiet, aside from your own breathing, the occasional creak of the house, and the faint smacking sounds that Dog Mom is making with her mouth. You've got to hold it in out of habit, but it's hard when you're half asleep. Definitely not on top of your game right now. You can feel everything so intimately. Every time her tongue slides against your molars. Every time her cheek tugs at your skin. You're almost drifting back into a pleasant dream. You're beginning to regret every night you ever spent as a chump in a cold, milfless bed. You let your eyes drift downward. You see Ramona. She is taking this to the finish. But you don't have a reason to complain. Yet. You always appreciate the exhilarating sensation of coming into a mouth. You can't contain a shudder and a few spasms of your hips, and you feel slightly more awake now. Slowly, Ramona stands up and wipes her mouth. She walks up to the head of the bed, close to you, and kisses you goodnight. Ramona tucks you in and leaves the room, picking up whatever she had set down. End of chapter 2.